Hey, this is Steven from LegitTechTutorials, and welcome back to beginning CSS3. Today we're going to be talking about text and styling text. So here I have a really quick HTML document typed up with one H1 header element, two paragraph elements, and one bold inline element. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm not going to really go into, the difference between a serif and sans serif, this and that, and cursive fonts and all those different types of fonts. You're probably going to want to look those up to find the one that you want if you're styling an actual web page. You probably want to do some research on that and find the best font that you want. So I'm just going to show you how to set these up with the stock styles. Okay, so let's go ahead and start styling. So first off, you have the font family character, font family, and basically you could specify what type of font family you want to use. So now this guy, as you see here, the font is different than this font. It's not too much different. Oops. There you go. Now it's a lot different. Now it's a little bit different. So now that is using these different types of font types Times New Roman, Georgia, and serif. And that's on the body element, and so that should be the whole thing here. Should all have that. So now let's go ahead and go in and style the H1. Okay, the H1, we want to have the font family again. And we want it to be an Arial font, Redania, and a sans serif style. And now I believe I saw it change. It's kind of hard to see it change, but it did change. So those are the setup there for those types of different styles, the font family styles. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into our little the actual testing 2. So we're going to go in dot testing 2, and we're going to say that we want it to do a font family Times New Roman. Now, I believe I saw that change again, so it should only be this first paragraph here. So let's go ahead and see if we can see it change. It could also be that Dreamweaver does not have all these fonts in there. Okay, that definitely changed. As you can see here, this one's completely different. So it has that font, and you could definitely tell that that font is pushed right there. So that is the font family style. And then you have the font size. So let's go ahead and mess around with this and change the font size. So now you could set this in pixels or the different types of sizing characteristics. Now there is 3 different styles. There's pixels, which is the standard that you see in like Word, where it goes like 18, 24, 36, 48, or it's like, point font, right? So you have 24 point font, etc., etc. And then you have percentages, so the percentage of the total size. So they have a standard default size, and you could say you want 200% of that default size, 50% of that default size, etc. Then you have EMS, which is basically a relative sizing setup. So, yeah. So in this case, we're just gonna do a mix of the two, and I'll show you the difference. All right. So what we're gonna want to do after this, hit a space there and do font size, and let's do like 18 pixels. Then go ahead and go into your H1 and do font size. Let's do like 300%. And then right here, you're going to do a enter font size 1.3 EM. Now you see they all change sizes. So here we have the EM size standard, we have the percentage size standard, and we have the points size standard. So I believe the only one that's going to be 18 points is going to be this middle one here. This one's going to be 18 point, and you could also see the styling is also a lot more apparent now. Okay, so that is the 3 different types that you could do of the font size that you could specify. Okay, so now we're going to talk about font face. Font face basically allows somebody that doesn't have the font installed on their PC to download that font and be able to use it on that particular machine, which is which would be pretty useful if you're using some sort of special font that most people don't have installed and cannot render on the computer, and they need to download it to install it. So let me go ahead and go over that really quick, right up here at the top. So let's say font face. Let's just say like Star Wars. That's just a random name. You know. This is a random name I came up with. And then, so you're basically going to do a source to that download page, and you're going to need to have it set to you're going to need to have it set to the specific type of format. And we're going to go over formats next. So you have it set up like that, and then basically all you have to do is you go down into here, into something like this, and you just do here, do like Star Wars large. And you're just going to put a comma there and get rid of this times. And of course it's not going to work, because it's not actually a web page. But yeah, so that's how you set it up and allow it to download, etc., etc. But also be careful that you know, it is good that the font is for your use, whether it's commercial or non-commercial. Make sure that you have rights to use that font. Okay, so now font formats. So I'm just going to go over very quickly. Basically, font formats allow you to have your website set up so that it works on all browsers. Some browsers prefer different fonts than others. So, for example, you could use you could have separate parts in that if it doesn't render, it picks up a different, like this font face, it picks up a different source code. And so you have the EOT, WOFF, TTF, OTF, and SVG. And now, for example, EOT is Internet Explorer, WOOF is Chrome, Firefox, and Internet Explorer 9. And then TTF works on a lot more, SVG works on a lot more, etc., etc. So you need to kind of have those all loaded out, or you could avoid it by using just the standard install type, whatever you prefer to do. Alright, so now we have font weight. This is going to be very quick, so let's go ahead and jump in here and just modify this slightly. So we're going to go in here and let's just keep this and just do like a space after this guy and just do font weight. And there you see all different kinds of stuff popping up. And there it just set all of it to bold. But it kind of, went over top of this one because this one's already bold. So you saw in there's all different kinds of set weights that you could use. Try to use your IDE as much as possible. It will help you out and it'll teach you everything else that you don't learn in these tutorials. And then we have, next we have font styles. So, for example, a font style is like italics, causes it to appear in italics. Oblique. So let's look at those two. So you see it here already. You see the two. Let's try oblique first. So let's say oblique. See, there's oblique. And then italics. And there's italics. So those are two different types. You could probably look inside that pop-up in your IDE, whether you're using Aptana or Dreamweaver, and find one that you are looking for. Alright, so let's go ahead and delete this stuff here, and we're going to go over text transforms. Now, text transforms allow us to set anything to all uppercase, all lowercase, all capitalized, etc., etc. So let's say for this one we want text transform and we want capitalize. And you see there that everything pops up. So we want capitalized. And then let's go to this one right here. Let's do text transform. And let's say this is like lowercase. Let's go to this guy, text transform. And let's set this guy, which one we haven't done? Uppercase. Okay, this one worked. Now, for whatever reason, oh, that's why. I put it in the wrong spot. I put it in the font family. That's not going to do anything. Let me go ahead and cut this. You put it inside of a style, and there you see it right there. So that's the body. This is the H1, which is all in lowercase, and this is all capitalized. Well, actually, the first is capitalized. Okay, so we have text decoration. Let's go ahead and get rid of the text transformation and do text decoration. And we could do a couple different things. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what pops up and mess around with that. So I'm going to do, you see all different kinds of stuff. We have overline, underline, line through, blink, blah, blah, blah. So let's do a line through on this one. And there you see a line through it. and this is body, so everything is inherited with that. So let's just go on here and do decoration. Let's do this blink, see if that works in Dreamweaver. And it doesn't work too much. Okay, let's use overline. Did I spell right? Decoration. Okay, so it doesn't do the overline. It should be right here. Let's do underline. Underline. Okay, so underline works. And then etc, etc, you could do none, or I don't know why you would do none, because I mean, not unless you want to have all the inheritance have none and then you just add those. So I don't know why you would do that. Alright, so now we're gonna talk about line height. Line height is basically the space there. So let's see what it says here for the definition. So it's basically spacing the top sentence from the bottom sentence and setting that line height. So let's go ahead and go over how to do that. So that's pretty easy. You're just going to go here under body. Body should set the whole thing so you could actually see it. And there you see it compressed this guy here, so it's setting all of this height. So that's very little height here. So let's say if we got rid of the underline, it sets that line height, and this guy here is a little different because of all the other stylings we have on there. Okay, letter spacing and word spacing. So letter spacing sets the spacing between letters, or like, you know, how to say, yeah, well, the spacing between letters. So let's go to the H1 and set one of those styles. So let's say letter spacing 0.6 EM. Okay, so what did I put in there? Testing text. So this is the space it pushes in between the two, the end there. The end of from one word to another word. So let's go back and do like 0.4 so you could, or like 0.3 so you could really see it. There, now you can really see it. And let's do extreme 0.1. Whoopsies. 1.0. And there you can definitely see it between each of the words. Alright, so then let's go ahead and go into... Let's go, yeah, back here again. And let's just do, instead of letter spacing, we're going to do word spacing. This is just between words. So between here, between this word and this word. Let's go ahead and set this to like 3. It should be pushing them farther and farther apart. But I'm not really seeing that too much. Yeah, so for whatever reason, I'm not seeing that word spacing. Okay, so next one we have is some alignment, text alignment. So we have enough. Oh, this is probably why it didn't work. Okay, so you make sure you have a semicolon at the end of all these. Okay, so this text, align, left, text, align, justify, and this is going to be text, align. And you see all the different stuff. Let's do like center. Okay, there you go. So this is to the center. You can see it's slightly indented. This is, well, actually no, this one's to the center. This one's to the left. And this one's justify. Let's do this one right. So there you go. Now you see the other ones. So this is text align to the right, which is the header one. And this is to the left, so that's this one, and this is centered. So those are the different alignments. Now we have another couple ones. So let's do vertical alignment. So you go into text, you go into align, and you just change this to vertical line. And let's just look at what we got and do some different styles. All right, so we have a whole bunch of stuff. Let's do like central. Change this one. Well, super is proceeding or whatever. Let's do like middle. Let's say this one's like, what are we gonna do for this one? Do like baseline. Alright, so there you see a couple different ones. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see that this one's kind of indented downwards, and this one is so this one should be at the bottom. It's at the bottom of the line. This one should be central, and this one should be middle. Middle for this one and central for this one. Kind of hard to see with these. I should have them all P's, and then you'd be able to definitely see it. But you don't need to worry about it. They're there, and I'll lie to you about it. Okay, so a couple more left. We just have about 2 or 3 more examples left. So let's go ahead and get rid of this text, and we're going to do text indent. And then here you could tell it how far you want it to indent. So let's say like say like 500 pixels. So you see it's got a huge indent, and that's for everything in the body. So you're probably only going to want to do like 5. There, now you got a little bit of an indent, as you can see. Let's do it even more so you can see it. Let's do like 10, double. There you see it's even farther now. Double the indent. And then let's do this one to do a even farther text indent. Let's go here, text, indent, and let's do like 30 pixels. And there you see even farther. Alright, so now we're going to talk about some text shadows. I'm only going to do this probably on this one here. Let's go ahead and get rid of all this stuff. Let's do background color. Let's go to the color picker. Let's do like a grayish. Color we want to be black. So let's do black. Oops. let's do, and then we're going to set up the text shadow. I forgot to close that. Yeah, so you're not, why? It's not even doing the background color. Oh. There we go. So we got the background color in there, we got the color, and we got the text shadow. Now, for whatever reason, you cannot see the text shadow. So it might not just be available in Dreamweaver. It's not available in all of the browsers. So in this case, the text shadow, the first length indicates how far to the left or right the shadow should fall. Second value indicates the distance to the top or the bottom that the shadow should fall. The third value is optional and specifies the amount of blur that should be applied to the drop shadow. So let's do like a minimal blur, or actually even larger, so like 7.7. Let's say like 3. You still can't really see it too well, but it should be there, but for whatever reason it does not show. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and move on to a couple of last ones. So here we go. The first letter of the line, or the first letter or the first line. So let's go delete all these stuff for the text shadow, and let's do it here in H1. So let's do. So let's just do first letter, because I don't really have anything with a couple lines on it. So there you see the very first letter in there is bold. So you see that I have testing, and then you do this, and you do first letter, or you could do first line and set them to bold. So let's go ahead and just change this to line. So now that whole thing's bold. Alright, so we got 2 more left. Let's go ahead and going over style links. So this allows you to set styles for if people have visited that link. So you know, if you like click on something and it will change it to so if it's a link and you go over it, it will underline it if it's not if it's not been visited, and if it has been visited, it'll turn into a solid color. So I don't have any links on the page, so I guess you'll just have to trust me on that. So you just do the same thing as this, but you just do you know, link, and then you would do visited. So link, and then you would do a set type of color. So let's say like in my book here it says deep pink for if you haven't visited it, and if you had visited it, just turns black. and then if you hover over it, it turns deep pink again, and it underlines it. So it underlines it like it's a link, and if it's active, it's dark cyan. So that basically means if you're actually over the top and you're about to click it, it turns dark cyan. Okay, finally we have hover, active, and focus. So for example, if you're hovering over something, it will change colors. You could set it to style a certain way. So here we have hovering, active, when the element is being activated by a user, for example, being pressed. So it feels like it's being pressed because when you actually click it, it changes colors to give the user feedback that they actually changed something. And then focus applies to anything that has focus when you interact something like a link. So for example, when you're hovering over a form about to type, etc., etc., then it will turn colors. Alright, so let's go over a attribute selector, and that's the same thing here. You just do the selection here. So you would have like, whatever you want to style, and then the colon, and then your active, focus, or hover. Okay, so there's we're going to talk about some more selectors. There's existence, targets any. So for example, P bracket. So let's go over this really quick. So this is existence, for example, P bracket class. So that targets any element with an attribute called class. So yeah, it goes to any attribute, and I guess we'll just go over this stuff later. Alright, so it's been Steven from LegitTechTutorials, and thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe for more videos like it in this series and other series as well. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.